again for the second time today with one of my favorite human beings who I truly love so much, Plemmons.
Cry more. Hi. So I hear the mic is being very, oh, I hear it now. Okay, cool. Oh, we're good. We're on. Hi, we're live. Hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here with me. I love Creative Mornings. I consider it an honor to be up here. I have known about Creative Mornings for about 84 years. The founder, Tina Roth Eisenberg, is a blogger. She had a design blog called Swiss Miss. And I don't know if you know, I was a blogger. I was in the like mommy blogging community back in the day, you know? And I got to go to all these different blogging conferences and throw parties for them. It was the most fun. So I was aware of what she was doing. And so when the Asheville chapter opened up, I was pumped. And when you go onto the Creative Morning page and look at your own profile, it tells you how many you've attended. Have you seen that? Do you know that? I mean, it said I'd been to 38 of them. And I just love that it's this like pep rally. For me, it just feels like this contagious thing that we just get from each other, you know? We're like, ooh, you make things, ooh, you create things. Like, I'm just feeding off your energy and we're in it together, you know? I love it. So yeah. Oh, my blog, in case you were wondering, my blog was called Balls to the Wall, y'all. So I still own the domain, blogstothewallyall.com. It is inactive, but you never know when I'm going to bring it back, right? Or use that domain for other ball-related things. So since I can remember, I've always wanted to be an artist, and just always was an artist. And then when adults would be like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say, well, I want to be an artist and a clown. And in hindsight, it's like, I didn't really want to be a clown, like with all the stuff and doing the things. I just watched a lot of the Bozo Show, and they played the grand prize game with the freaking tin buckets and the ping pong balls, and if you threw it in there, you would get like this huge pack of cookies, or like the crisp $100 bill, and they drop it in the bucket, and if you get it, you win it. I really wanted, honestly, I really wanted that tray of cookies. But now I'm an adult, I can buy cookies whenever I want. So I've been making art and escaping into it since I can really remember, and I'm highly motivated by bold color. Are you guys that way too? Like, but yes, Marisol, yes. Like, bold color turns me on, like colorgasms, you know? I feel energized by it, and it's pretty evident in the things that I make. There you go. There's the manifesto. We can read that later. We will do that later. And we'll get to the part where I'm going to show you some work, and then there's words. Oh, by the way, this is there's a child in here, maybe a couple children. I'm sorry, parents of the children. This is going to be rated R content, maybe PG. I apologize, and I'm going to be talking about my butthole a little bit. So buckle up. This is something that I made. Something that I made. I made this after a therapy session. After a AIT chakra energy therapy session, and I felt like these colors were shooting down the top of my head, and so I had to create it. And so, yeah, motivated by color. Like if I see a dog turd on the ground, I'm like, oh, that's just regular dog turd. But if that dog turd was like neon pink with like red stripes, I'd be like, oh my God, I love that dog turd, right? The color combinations, I'm highly motivated by that. Speaking of turds, let's look at some more of my work. Oh, this is not really. I made this after the shooting, the Pulse nightclub shooting. And I just love it. Everything will be okay and everything will be beautiful. All your felt feelings are a sweet victory. And this description says, this is a celebration of our refusal to remain emotionally constipated. Bravo, us. Spread eagle vulnerability. What's better than that? Hey, so I just want you to remember that you're not alone in this. The world is not always total shit, just sometimes. Okay, love you. This is a painting I'd made for my friend Kim, who passed away a few years ago. She was vibrant, and I'm honored to share her with you a little bit. She was a teacher, and I loved her. She was amazing. This is something that I needed to say to myself. It says, I will be a good friend to me. These are little tiny envelopes that I made on cereal boxes that I hyper-focused on. I have ADD, and you know, when you get in that mode, you're like, oh my God, give me all the things, let's do it. It just God gave me so much joy to make these little tiny ass envelopes. And then I put magnets on the back, and now they're on a refrigerator. This is a sticker that I made. It says, let's find safe places to share our hard shit. And this is a pillow. This is another one that says, your body is not a problem. This one says, go easy. You're a human doing human shit. This is an ornament. I make ornaments for the Be Crafty every year, and this says, you make your therapist proud. Which little tidbit here, I showed that to my own therapist, and she bought one for herself. Which my therapist is 72 and has her own therapist. So I'm basically a big boss therapist, This says feel it all, which you just kind of hiding, which that's part of feeling, is hiding sometimes. Is it not? This is this is a picture taken of the Big Crafty. And the painting in the back says, I am not yours, I am mine. I love that one. And it's something I've really had a lot of emotion put into, and I didn't know if I wanted to sell it or not. I just had it there, and then Piper came along, and she was the first person in line at the Big Crafty, and came straight downstairs to find me, and was like, that speaks to me, I want it. And it was this whole emotional thing, first thing of the whole craft show, and I was crying immediately. Oh. Yes. So it goes from my work is really heartfelt or just completely ridiculous, which is very me and so fun to do. So these are my glitter titty stickers. They're so fun. There's purple nipples. This says super good life advice. Go see the world. Spread some love. Be very brave. Speak your truth. Prioritize self-care. Don't fart on your friends. Unless they ask you to. This one's that. Sometimes that's the only word that will suffice. Oh, I love this one. Are you ready? Okay. 10 cool things to do when you're overwhelmed and feeling like shit. Breathe deep into your cute belly. Scream fuck in your car. Call a friend. One that will listen and not give you any advice unless you ask for it. Look up the Lenny Kravitz donkeys and laugh. Do you guys know about the Lenny Kravitz when his leather pants split open on stage? And he was like playing and they split open and there's a gif of his stuff just like boinging out. It boings, you guys. It just does a little bounce. And then when people at my table at the Big Crafty say, "What is this Lenny?" I had it pulled up, and I was like, "Well, let me just show you." It was so much fun. This is a painting that I did. This says "fucking up." I think Canberra owns this. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Yeah. This is just a balloon that is feeling its feelings, and I really like it. This says, "Here is a pop of color for my gallery wall, because I need you to know that I am one vibrant motherfucker." These are some more ornaments that I made. This one says, "In this house we celebrate titties," and this one says, "LOL, there's a dick on your tree." And the most fun was when people were like, "I'm gonna buy this and put it on my parents' tree and see how long it takes for them to find it." Oh, let's go back. That's me being sad. Okay, so a lot of those were taken at the Big Crafty, which I've been going to since its inception in 1873. Justin and Brandy have created this beautiful, wonderful, heartfelt community, just infused with their like special branded confetti love, you know what I mean? And like you can't be around Justin without him telling you he loves you or crying. And he's one of my favorite people to cry with, really, because we just kind of stand next to each other and weep. But the connection is the best part. People will walk up and either laugh or cry, and we're connecting, and it just lights me up. And so after I've been doing all the connecting, I just felt this call of a microphone. Or a microphone was calling my name, going, "You have things to say. You have lived a little bit of life here. What are you going to say?" And which led to a creation of a podcast, excuse me, with my girl Melanie. She's right here. She's right here. I mean, I wish. The name of the podcast is called Hearts and Buttholes. Yes. And here's the theme song. The opening theme song goes like this. Hearts and buttholes, it's an opening. Let's open together. There's only 4 episodes, but those 4 episodes are strong. They are solid. We talk about trauma, fun. We talk about addiction. I interviewed my husband and about his recovery. That was an incredible episode. Thank you, Zach, for doing that. We interviewed our friend Kate about our body stuff. You know, it's basically a party. We just add our own special lilt of levity there. It's our specialty. So, fast forward, in the fall of 2022, I started having some tummy troubles. And more tummy troubles than just like, oh, I ate too much of this goat cheese from Aldi. And then the next year, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which if you don't already have Crohn's disease, do not get it. Which is a very funny joke because we have very little control over diseases. If you're not familiar with Crohn's disease, it is an autoimmune disease that attacks your digestive tract, like your digestive system. And it's literally called like the mouth to anus disease. So it can affect anything, mouth sores, ulcerations, bleeding, like inflammation. It's not a great time. I don't recommend it. Lucky me, mine has been concentrated on my anus. I know. Now, as much as this was like devastating and painful, it was terrible, I couldn't help but be perpetually amused by all of it. It was just so absurd. And I documented all this experience with like photos and videos and Instagram stories, and I had a TikTok video go viral while I was in the hospital with pancreatitis. I said something terrible about babies. I was on fentanyl, like in the hospital, like, but that's what you get. I recorded the audio of my first colonoscopy, which was basically just me drunk off propofol and celebrating about how boisterous and loud and wonderful my farts were. I kept having all these ridiculous experiences revolving around shooting my pants, hospital visits, and my painful butt. I've had 5 surgeries on my crotch so far. Number 6 will be this fall. I'm in remission for Crohn's, but I'm still dealing, yes, remission. I'm still dealing with the damage of those initial flares. And that has not been fun. It's been really hard, but I have been blessed with a sense of humor that will not turn off. And I kind of like that about me. And luckily, all of my women doctors laughed at all of my jokes, you know? If you get a butt doctor, you want one that like laughs at you, you know? Because you're inevitably gonna be like, ooh, shit, poop, whatever. And this is where it gets real vibrant and creative here. I took all of this shit that was handed to me and created a whole ass comedy show. Complete with graphics. Oh wait, we forgot. Sad picture. Oh, that's me, sad. Comedy show. That's me and Melanie. That's me. I called it Spread Eagle at the Gray Eagle. I was compelled. It was going to happen in the summer, but due to scheduling conflicts, it ended up happening in December, and that just so happened to be the week of Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week. Serendipitous. Lots of you were there. Thank you for coming today. I felt so much freedom just envisioning all the possibilities of what they could look like, but levity was the main goal. But there were also these strong messages that I wanted to share. Because chronic illness of any kind is such a fucking drag, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. And getting one made me even more aware of all the silent suffering that goes on. Just so many things that we don't talk about. But I was busting at the seams wanting to talk about this and give it voice. And part of that was my resistance to the oppressive like pearl clutching that I grew up around. We don't say that. We don't talk about things that are normal, that are happening to our bodies. I remember the first time my mom ever said the word fart. And it was like she burnt her hand and was like, oh, fart! Ooh! Fart! That feels very liberating to say that out loud on a microphone. Fart! So doing this comedy show was perhaps the most alive I've ever felt. Like, graduating, like pushing a baby out, like climbing a mountain, but like pleasantly drunk while doing all of those other things. I was really proud of myself. It was one of those things that I just needed to do for myself. It was so cathartic. And to do it to an almost sold out crowd was the icing on the cake. Full of these sweethearts just looking out there, and to do it with Melanie was just a perfect partnership. And after walking off stage, I felt this buzz like I'd never felt before. I literally felt like that after session therapy, where the colors were shooting out the top of my head and my fingertips and my heart, and I just was like, that felt so right and so good. And I mean, and I didn't even smoke or lick any drugs, which is good. And I mean, I sang 3 different times throughout the show. And at one point, the whole room was singing Little Mermaid's Part of Your World with me. It was a moment. And all of my doctors showed up too. My primary care doctor, my gastroenterologist, and my colorectal surgeon. They were there. And my therapist. It was such a thrill. I had a whole segment called Stars, They're Just Like Us, and talked about celebrities who had doo-doo stories, and I wanted to normalize body issues. Let's see if it's Kelly Clarkson, doo-doo, in a trash can in the middle of her performance. Stars, they're just like us. They have hemorrhoids. They have explosive diarrhea. Jesus farted. You know, he's a star. I especially want to talk about the things that have an unnecessary amount of shame around them. And I was desperate to find other women talking about their rectovaginal fistula experience like I was having. And I didn't find a whole lot of that, imagine that. So I became the one I was looking for. I wanted to talk about how we're not supposed to do any of this stuff alone. How it's beautiful to receive, especially when I'm typically been the one giving. I'm an Enneagram 2. That's literally the giver, right? But a healthy 2 gives and receives with a whole heart. It was really moving and special to be in that position of complete vulnerability and having to rely on other people and also just allowing people to love me. Meal train is also a glorious thing, and if you need to use it, please do. It was such a gift to like wave the white flag and people would just show up in unexpected ways. I also wanted to encourage people to not be dismissive of their pain, whether it be like emotional or physical, that we all deserve care. We all deserve care. It should be a human right. I wanted to express my immense gratitude for the community for buoying me through all these shitstorms. And was it polished? No, it was not. I have only done stand-up twice before I was like, I'm gonna have a whole ass show. And I can't watch it without cringing at like a dozen things. And I touch my hair a lot and stumble over my words, but I mean, that's life, right? It was messy, but I showed up anyways. And I didn't have all my ducks in a row, but I just jumped in and kept going. And does my grammar suck? Sometimes. Who cares? Did I not finish college ever? No! But I didn't need it, you know. I get to make this weird shit anyways, you know. And I try not to let all these things hold me back and the things, oh, I need to have this in order to do this. It's bullshit. I'm proud of the things I said and proud of the things I do, and proud of the support that I sought out so that I could move through my fear to get to the other side of it and actually create that work. Because fear blocks so much, and to not feel like we're in it alone, this is why we have this community of Creative Mornings, is so incredible. And I have ADHD, so I have a flood of ideas like all the time, right? Where creativity is just like, oh, give me a project and like this and I'm on it. You know, it's so fun for me. But a lot of times I stall out on these ideas and my follow-through record is not high. And I carry a considerable amount of despair around all of those unfinished projects and unmet dreams. So, you know, gathering this courage and asking people to help me and making this happen with Melanie was an extra special victory for me. It was a dream come true. And my one regret is not rushing to the exit door to look people in the eye and hug them. When I was scheming about this whole thing last year, I remember asking George Awad, our local ringmaster of comedy sorts, and I was like, George, what do you think? I want to bake this comedy thing about my butthole. And he was like, go for it. I'm like, I've never done this kind of, and he was like, who cares? Just do it. Yeah, go for it. Why not? You know, and it's been this space where I've like had to connect with people and run ideas through them. Like, what are you working on? And we just like jive off of each other. This whole community here unknowingly cheered me on. And all of that is contagious. I think about walking through the Big Crafty and seeing all this work and thinking about these makers as children and how the first time they picked up a crayon and made something and then showed it to someone, and how even that is an act of bravery, and how that snowballs. The first time someone picks up a guitar, a spoon, a typewriter, I said typewriter. A typewriter, it's cool, right? It's aesthetic. You know what I mean? Just thinking about all the courage that it takes to even make anything in the first place, and then to show it to somebody, which could be like left open to criticism. It takes a lot of courage to make anything, does it not? Yeah. And, you know, it brings me to tears thinking about it. I just walk around the Big Crafty crying, going, oh my gosh. Like really feeling this like sense of like, they started somewhere, right? And here they are, doing what they love and feeling alive because of it. In the manifesto that we skipped over earlier, that they typically read at every meeting, it was planted seeds in me that bloomed. And I'm going to read it again. Maybe I'll just read it to you. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections and learning from others in hugs and high fives. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome. Forgot about this particular slide. This is a part of the show that I did. This Crone songs. We all need that. That's me on stage. That's me. This is me after the show. So pumped to be doing that in my like banana jumpsuit in the Grey Eagle bathroom. Yeah. And this is me at the last thing of the whole show where I was like honoring the inner child in me. I don't know, you can't really see it, but that's a picture of me as a kid with these like big uneven bangs. It was such a thrill, and it made me feel alive, and I just hope that whatever is stirring inside of you, whether it's big or small, that you can sink into this like deep knowing that what you create is valuable, and that the heart and energy you put into it will not only light you up, but have this beautiful ripple effect on the people around you and in the world. And that's it.
Give it up for Robin. The human embodiment of vibrancy.